What is Yolobox Pro? It is a 1080p live streaming device and also has tons of features. You can use it as an external monitor, use it for video recording, use it as a video switcher. One thing that is a little bit unusual about Yolobox Pro compared to the other video switchers or streaming system in the market is that usually these kind of devices would have lots of buttons, knobs and other physical controls on it. But this Yolobox Pro has virtually no buttons or physical control at all. So everything is controlled through its large touch screen. Because of that, my main concern is the touch screen only interface going to be an issue or limitation to the user? And with so many features, is the Yolobox Pro very hard to learn and use? Can someone do a live stream himself using the Yolobox Pro? Well, I've used this Yolobox Pro to do a 90 minutes live stream, did an interview using its invite guest feature, and also done lots of other testing, so I have answered to all these questions now. But before I answer these questions, let's start with a quick overview of the device. And a usual disclaimer, the review sample was sent to me by YoloLive and I don't have to return it after this review. But as usual, this is a completely independent review as you hear me talk about the pros and cons, and I will share with you my honest opinion just like all my other reviews. The Yolobox Pro has a large 8-inch touchscreen at the front. Apart from the power button at the bottom, there is no other physical buttons or controls on this device. The touchscreen response is good. In terms of brightness, the screen is 400 nits. I've tried using it outdoor on a sunny day. I won't say the screen is super bright, but it is bright enough that I can still see the screen relatively easily, even when the sun was shining directly onto the screen. There is a screen protector that comes with the Yolobox Pro. I would suggest the first thing that you should do when you take the device out of the box is to apply the screen protector immediately. The longer you use it, the more you make the screen dirty and make it harder to apply the screen protector without having any dust or dirty marks underneath it. Because of the large screen, I really wish the Yolobox Pro comes with a carry case to protect it. I mean, having a screen protector is nice, but I just don't feel very comfortable when I have to put the Yolobox Pro into my camera bag or a backpack with lots of other gears in it. There are many inputs and output ports on the device. At the top, there are 3 HDMI input, 1 HDMI output. They are all full-size HDMI ports. 1 headphone, 1 mic in, 1 line in, 1 USB-A port, 2 USB-C port, 1 for power and 1 for data, and also 1 Ethernet port. The USB port is very useful because you can use it to connect to an external drive to store some photos or videos that you want to use for your live stream. You can also record live stream to your USB drive, or you can connect to an USB microphone, USB modem, or even just connect the Yolobox Pro to your computer, and your computer can then use the Yolobox Pro as a webcam. At the bottom side, there is a SIM card slot. The Yolobox Pro also has built-in Wi-Fi, so you could use either the Wi-Fi, mobile data, Ethernet, or even a USB modem to do the live stream. I will talk about that a little more later. At the bottom, there's also a SD card slot that you can use it to store your video or photos, and there is a 1/4-inch screw hole so you can mount the Yolobox Pro on a tripod or something else. In terms of ports and connections, it really has almost everything. The only thing that I can think of that is missing is Bluetooth connection. To be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed and surprised that it doesn't have the Bluetooth support, as I was thinking I could connect my Bluetooth headphone for both talking and monitoring audio when I do the live stream, but I can't really do that with the Yolobox Pro. But if you really want to use your Bluetooth headphone, there is a workaround. You could get a Bluetooth receiver and connect it to Yolobox Pro's 3.5mm audio ports. Yolobox Pro runs Android internally, so some of the user interface may look a little bit like Android. However, you cannot install any other Android apps onto this device. This is also something I wish I could do, but I can understand there are many reasons why Eurolife wouldn't want that. And the Yolobox Pro does look a bit like an Android tablet. But if you look at the side, the Yolobox Pro is much thicker. One of the reasons is that there are all those different ports and slots. But another reason, probably the main reason, is that there is a 10,000 mAh battery built in, so we could use the device without having plug it into a power source. Since the Yolobox Pro has Wi-Fi and mobile data support, so we can live stream anywhere we want. This alone already makes the Yolobox Pro a lot more flexible than most other live streaming devices in the market. The battery seems to be pretty good as well, so I've done a 90 minutes long live stream, and I also plug in an SSD drive to the USB port and record the live stream to the SSD drive at the same time. At the end of that live stream, the battery still got 46% left. That means I should be able to do a approximately 3 hours long live stream just using the built-in battery, which is really not bad. But remember, the Yolobox Pro also has the USB port, so you could connect a USB power source to the Yolobox Pro if 3 hours is not long enough for you. However, because of the large 10,000 mAh battery, the Yolobox Pro is a little bit heavy at about 750 grams. It's not really a problem unless you want to mount it on top of a camera, then it would feel quite top heavy. The build quality of the Yolobox Pro is pretty good. Even though a large part of the Yolobox Pro is made of plastic, the device still feels solid and nice quality. Okay, next let me do a demo to show you how to set up the Yolobox Pro to do a live stream. Alright, so let's get started. This is the main screen. So in this screen, you can see all the previous live stream that you have created, and you can start a new live stream from here by either pressing the plus button here. Then you can choose either you want to start a live stream or just want to start a monitor mode that provide you pretty much all the feature, but you're not actually doing the live stream. Or you can select one of the previous live stream that you have created and do a duplicate of it so that your settings from your previous live stream would also be automatically duplicated for your new one. So let me start a new live stream now and create a live stream and give it a title. So let's call it Richard Test number 99. Alright, and you can enter a schedule, start date and time if you want to schedule a live stream, or you can just leave it blank. So let's just create it like this now. So now you created a live stream event. Okay, now let's click on the event and start it. So this is the main screen. On the left side, you can see what is the current active output would look like. At the bottom, you see a number of different input sources. Right now, I only have one camera plugin to the Yolobox, which plug into the HDMI 1, which is what you see here. But you can have up to 3 HDMI input source and also USB source and other sources here. And if you want to add more, you just press the video and you can just press the button, and now you can say, for example, select local video. So these are a couple of video files that I have loaded onto the SD card that I can choose as another video source. So now you see there are 2 of them, and I can switch between them very easily by just tapping on the different video source on the left. But there are also other things that you can add it to your video source, including another live stream, PDF file, images, or if you scroll to the bottom, you can also have picture-in-picture, split view, side-by-side view, and all the different view. So for example, if you want to do an interview or a podcast, then you may want to select this side-by-side view. And then you will say, this is my source number 1, and then this is my source number 2. And now you have a side-by-side video view. And you can choose your different background, color, border thickness, all those customization you want. So then when you are doing your interview, you can switch between the different view, including the side-by-side view very easily. And at the top, you will see there is a meter here which indicate the audio. Right now, I haven't got any audio enabled. That's why the bar is dead. But if I go to this audio screen and let me turn on this audio source, we'll come back to this screen a little bit later. And now we can see that there's the audio at the top. And the second one is the streaming quality. So this is a 1080p streaming device. So you can stream up to 1080p video quality. But the input can be higher than that. Like the video that I'm using right now is a 4K video, so it can handle that, but just the output is up to 1080p. Alright, and there is a replay feature next to it. So replay is very useful if you are streaming live sports game or some other live events that you suddenly want to replay something. Then you can use the replay feature to instant replay a few seconds of event just happened before. And then there's the top right, we have the record button. So if you want to record the live stream locally, you can use the record feature, and that would record either to the SD card you plug into the Yolobox Pro, or you can plug in a USB drive and then you can choose to record to one of these sources. Right now I don't really want to do that, so I just cancel it. And then at the bottom, we have the go live here. So basically, when you are ready to go live, you can press the go live button and you can start your live stream. But before you go live, you do need to come to this platform screen and choose where you want to output your live stream to. So I have already connected this Yolobox to my YouTube account because I already done a live stream using this Yolobox. So I could just press the button and then choose what sort of privacy settings I want. I just click private because I don't want to do a public live stream right now. And done. And now if I press the go live button, then it will go live to my YouTube channel. Now you probably see that on the right side, there are 3 different platforms that is available. You have the YouTube, you have the Facebook, and you also have Twitch. So you could select any of those. And there's also the custom RTMP streaming at the bottom as well. So that is the one that most of the streaming platform would support if it's not already here. And you can stream to multiple platforms at the same time as well. You can stream up to 3 platforms at the same time. But if you want to do that, then you need to go to the settings screen, and then you need to find the streaming mode. By default, it is a direct single platform stream. You will need to change it to using Yolo Live streaming service. If you want to do that, then you can stream up to 3 streaming platforms at the same time. So let's go back to it. And let's say I enable YouTube private and stream to my Facebook as well. Here you can select either just go to your personal account or pages that you manage, or you can stream to group. So for this one, I just go to timeline. Also, just only me. So now I have set it up so my live stream would go to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And now I can click go live. And this is now streaming to the internet. So you can see at the top, there is the upload, download, data rate, and also the dropout count, and also how long the live stream has been happening. Alright, so this is all you need to do to start a live stream. Very easy, very simple. And now let's go back to the first tab at the bottom. So this is one of the new features that YOLO Live has added, which is the network bonding. So I've mentioned a little bit earlier in this video, by default the Yolobox Pro, you have multiple ways of connecting to the internet. You have the Wi-Fi, you have the Ethernet, you can use a USB modem, you can use a SIM card, but you can only use one connection at a time. So it depends on where you are. It may be enough, or maybe your network is not very reliable. If that's the case, then you can use the network bonding feature, which basically means the Yolobox Pro would use all the different network connection that is available and combine them together to make the connection faster and more reliable, because now it is using redundancy. In case one of the network is not going so well, it's not fast enough, then you can use the data that is sent through the other method. So this is what the network bonding is. But as you can see on this screen, network bonding is an extra service that require you to pay separately. So I myself have not actually used the network bonding feature, but from what I heard, it works pretty well. But of course, there is a cost. So it really depends. If you need to enable your live stream is very reliable, especially you're at a place that your network connection is not good, then this is probably a very useful feature. And then the next screen is the overlay screen. So on the right side, you see a couple of overlay that I have already created previously, and you can create more if you want to. So you can create an image overlay, which basically means a static image. You can create lower first, countdown timer, which is very good before your live stream start, and you have a web URL overlays, which I'll talk about a little bit later, and titles and social media overlays. So I have created a couple of those already on the right. So let's go back here so you can see. And for example, this is a countdown timer, and this is a social overlay. Make it bigger so you can see. And I have one for Facebook, or you can create other kind of title as well. So this is a very useful feature, because a lot of time you do want to have some overlay on top of your video, and the overlay that you create will be shared between the different live stream event as well, so you don't have to create a new overlay every time you start a new live stream. Okay, the next one is the platform that we already talked about, and then the next feature is one of the feature that I really like, but I also have some complaint about this feature. Basically, it allows you to invite guests to your live stream to join you to do a podcast or interview or anything that you can chat together, and it is super easy to use. So what you have to do is just enter their email here, and once you enter their email, and then you can click the send button, and then you will send an email to the email address, and they just need to click the link, and then they can join your live stream. So they can do it from their computer, they can do it from their smart device. They don't need to install any software. So this is really great. I just did an interview a couple of days ago with the founder of the Laowa camera lens company, and using this feature, and that was super easy to set up. However, there is one issue with this invite guest feature, and in my opinion, that makes this invite guest feature not really that usable at this stage. And what it is because when you are doing, say, a podcast, you will want to listen to what your guest is saying. So what you usually do is plug in a headphone to this Yolobox headphone output, and then you can listen to what your guest is saying. But at the same time, you will also hear your voice as well. The problem is there is a little bit of delay with your own voice. There's about half a second or maybe even less than that. Unfortunately, the slightly delayed audio really completely mess up your brain because you keep hearing yourself but slightly delayed. That makes it really hard to talk to other people when you keep hearing yourself but slightly delayed. If you're not sure what I'm talking about or think I'm exaggerating, Google the term delayed auditory feedback. There are even apps like Speech Jammer which are designed to simulate this effect, and it can make you just can't talk at all. There are a couple of workarounds that you can use to minimize this issue. For example, you can adjust the monitor volume output as you start talking and finish talking so you don't hear your own voice. Or you can invite yourself and you log in through your smart device or a computer, and you plug in your headphone to your smart device or your computer, so then you don't hear your own voice. So yeah, there are a couple of workarounds, but in my opinion, none of them are really that good. So I really hope that YOLOLive can do something to improve or fix this issue, because right now it's a bit of shame because this is such a cool feature, but the audio delay makes this feature very hard to use. One thing that I do really like about Yolobox is the company is really active in updating firmware to address issues, so there is a good chance that this issue will be addressed in the near future by firmware update. If YOLOLive release a new firmware in the future that address this issue, I will add a comment to this video and will pin it. So hopefully we will see a new firmware that address this in the future. Okay, next we have the audio screen. So here there are quite a few things that you can do. You can control the volume of the program audio output or the monitor output separately. There is a AFV button, which means audio follow video. So what that means is if you have it enabled, as you are switching between the different audio source, your video will control what audio is output to the live stream. So if I switch back to HDMI 1, you see it will enable the audio from the HDMI 1 and disable the one from the other source. Usually you don't want to have it enabled because you just want to switch between different video sources and keep your audio constant. So with the latest firmware, AFV is disabled by default, which I think is great. And below here you have all your different audio source that is available, and you can switch on or off them individually, and you can also adjust the volume or also dial in a bit of delay. Comparing what I see now with the first original firmware, I think YOLOLive has already done quite a bit of changes, improvement to the audio mixer screen, but I think there are still room for further improvement. And after this tab, the next tab is an interesting one. So if you want to do a live stream of some sports games, then this is what you would like to do. Basically, you can create a scoreboard display using this screen, and not only you can position it anywhere, you can also customize it, make it bigger, smaller. You can change the score in real time, and there are quite a few settings that you can choose as well. For example, the fonts, the color, the name of the team, etc. So this feature is definitely very useful for anyone who want to live stream a sports game. If this scoreboard looks a little bit simple, there's one other thing that you can do. Okay, so what you need to do is go back to the overlay screen and you choose the web URL overlays and choose from Eurocars. So you can go to the Eurocars website, which is a service that is provided by YOLOLive. I chose a couple of different ones here previously, and let me just choose one of those. Let's say this one. I chose this. and I can now enter a name, Richard Scoreboard. Alright, cool. And I can enable it and just wait a few seconds and you can see it pop up on your live stream. So this is really good for two reasons. One is there are many different style of scoreboard that is already pre-made. You can use them here. So if you use one of the existing pre-created one, you don't have to pay for it. But if you want to create your own one, then you have to pay for the Eurocars service. But there are many free ones that you can choose. And the other good thing is, because this is a scoreboard that is available through the Eurocars web service, so that means someone can just log in to Eurocars from their smartphone or their computer, and they can do a live update of the scoreboard from the computer. So you can have a separate person to focus on updating the scoreboard, because depends on what kind of sports you are streaming. Some sports does require a lot of update to the scoreboard. So if you are the one that is controlling the Yolobox and also need to update the scoreboard, it may be a bit overwhelming. So if you use this feature, then you can have someone to help you to update the scoreboard. Alright, so now I can disable it. And let's continue. So this is the comments section. When you're doing live streaming, if there are people dropping comments there, then you can see it. And you can also highlight their comment and put it displayed on the screen. So when I did a live stream a couple of weeks ago using the Yolobox Pro, I can see all the people's comment here, and I can select them and then I can reply to them so that they can see what sort of comment I'm replying to. This is a really cool feature. I really like it, and it's also very easy to use as well. This is a great way to have some interaction with your audience. And then the next one is the auto switch feature. So right now I only have one camera set up, but for example, if I have multiple cameras set up and maybe I'm doing an interview, so I may have a close-up camera and a camera from a bit further away, I can use this feature to enable me to just automatically switch between different cameras, and that make the live stream looks not so boring. I can choose what video sources I want to include in this auto switch feature and how do I want to loop through them. So this is another useful feature for some type of live stream events. And then we have the settings in the last tab. So as you can probably see, there are a lot of different settings here. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because there are quite a few of them, but all these settings does give you a lot of flexibility. Before we stop, there's one more cool feature that I want to quickly talk about. So as you can see, one of the local video here I selected is a video that I previously recorded in front of the green screen. I don't have a green screen here, so I pre-record this one. And what you can do is, if you tap on this setting box, and now you can enable the chroma keying, and that would automatically help you remove the green screen background. So as you can see, it does a pretty good job. This is just the default setting. I didn't change anything, and it already removed the green screen pretty nicely. But you can do some fine tune if you want. If the default setting is not good, you can fine tune how much you want to cut out, right? So this looks pretty good to me. And if you want, you can apply a background, a static background to your green screen video like this. All right. If you don't want to have a static background and want to have a video background instead, it's okay too. So you just need to remove the background image and you click done. And what you do next is you just add a video source and you go and add a PIP, picture in picture video. And first you select the main screen as the video source that you want to use as the background. So for example, I select this one here. And now you select the subscreen. So that will be your green screen video source. And in this case, this is my pre-recorded video, but it doesn't have to be a pre-recorded video. It could be a live green screen video. So now I select it. And you will see my green screen video is in front of another video. And there's a border here. I don't want to have a border. And I can scale my main screen to different size if I want. And so now I have a green screen in front of another video source. So now I select this one. This is my green screen in front of another video source. So this is a very useful feature and it works really well and very easy to use. So I've been using and testing the Yolobox Pro for about a month now. I've used it to do live stream, interview and many other testing. And what do I think about it? I said at the beginning of this video, I was concerned if the touch screen only interface going to be an issue, and would the Yolobox Pro very hard to learn and use because it has so many features? My answer is, the touchscreen interface is actually great. I had no issues at all. The Yolobox Pro is very easy to learn and use. I basically didn't have to read any user menu. I just power it on and then follow the user interface. I set up my first test live stream within 20 minutes. It was really easy. And when I did my first real live stream, it was also pretty easy. I set up and control 2 cameras. I was reading my viewers' messages, highlight and reply to them all by myself, and it was not a problem at all. So everything was well under control. I was just using the Wi-Fi connection at home and the streaming quality was very decent and stable too. So none of the concerns I had were real issue, and overall I'm very impressed by this Yolobox Pro. There are lots of features, but the most important thing is, with all these features, Yolobox Pro is still very easy to use. I think the team at Yolobox Live did a really great job. They have included a very decent amount of features and settings, and yet they managed to keep the user interface clean and easy to use. Another thing I also really like is how the company keep releasing new firmware, not only address some of the issues, but also adding new features. Right now, when I'm doing this review, they have just released firmware 5.0 about 1 or 2 weeks ago, which is the 25th firmware update for the Yolobox Pro. They also seems to really listen to the feedback from the community, as a lot of the changes and improvements are what the community has requested. But does that mean the Yolobox Pro is perfect? No, I don't think so. As much as I like the Yolobox Pro, it's not perfect. The first thing is, Yolobox Pro doesn't support vertical live stream. If you want to do vertical live stream like on TikTok or Instagram, you will need to purchase Yololive's InStream instead, which is a device specially designed for vertical streaming. To be honest, I don't really understand why. The difference between horizontal and vertical streaming is really just the software. Yes, the software interface would be different because of the different layout and also the video format, but the beauty of Yolobox Pro is that it doesn't have any physical controls, so it should really be possible to add a vertical mode with different user interface for vertical streaming. Yolobox Pro is not cheap at all, so it is a bit annoying that you have to buy another device if you want to do vertical streaming. The second thing that I would definitely like to see the company address is the audio delay or latency through the headphone output, especially when using the invite guest feature. This delay really makes it very difficult to speak normally. Now, I'm not saying I would like Yololive to remove the audio delay completely. I mean, I would love to if they can do that because that will really fix the problem, but I understand it may be technically impossible to do. What I want is some kind of configuration settings so that I can turn off my own voice when I listen to the audio through the headphone monitor output. It's like when I do a video call with someone, I don't hear my own voice through the headphone, but the actual audio output for streaming will still have to include my voice. So Yololive, please implement this, as I really love this invite guest feature, but if this issue is not addressed, it is almost impossible to use this feature. So these are pretty much the only two things that I like to see improve on the Yolobox Pro, and they are both software related. Now, these are issues that I think are important, but not to everyone. So if you don't need to live stream on TikTok or Instagram, or if you're not planning to use the invite guest feature, then this doesn't really matter to you, and the Yolobox Pro is pretty much as perfect as I can hope for. To be honest, even with these two complaints, I still really love the Yolobox Pro. It's a pretty small device, but it has tons of features. It's super easy to use, and you can definitely do a live stream solo and control everything yourself. Yolobox Pro would make your live stream look a lot more professional. I also like that it has a large built-in battery, and with the Wi-Fi and mobile data support, so you can do the live stream pretty much anywhere you want. The Yolobox Pro is not cheap at all, but consider the amount of features that it has. If you need most of these features, then I think the price is actually very reasonable, especially if you consider this is the only device that you have to bring that does pretty much everything.